In this episode of Angling Archaeology, we're going to take a look back at a bug-eyed bait from the 70s. The Rabble Rouser. Stick around. You might just learn something. Probably not. So what is the Rabble Rouser? Well, this funny little bug-eyed creature took over the fishing world in the mid-1970s. Famous for the over-exaggerated eyes and patented sound chamber to entice the strike, not to mention the ultra-sharp hooks, this was a fish catcher like we've never seen. Before we learn more about the Rabble Rouser, I think we need to learn a little bit more about the man behind the Rabble Rouser. Pictured here is Doug Parker. Doug's story is a little bit more like the most interesting man in the world and less like a lure maker. After serving time in World War II as a pilot, Doug enrolled at the University of Arkansas, where he received a degree in zoology and a minor in geology. After college, Doug and his wife, Loretta, moved to Fort Smith, where he was employed with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission prior to receiving his law degree from LaSalle University in Chicago, where he practiced criminal law in Fort Smith for 30 plus years and was known as the best trial lawyer in Arkansas. Now, Doug was an avid fisherman, but he liked to spend his spare time inventing and improving on his Rabble Rouser lure, where he had 12 patents. It's funny to think that such a popular lure from the 70s was merely a side hobby for Doug. It's also good to know, too, that Doug was instrumental in developing Sugarloaf Lake, Sebastian Lake, and the James Fork Reservoir near Fort Smith, Arkansas. Sadly, we lost Doug back in 2018, but there's no denying that his legacy will certainly live on. In 1951, Doug hand-carved his very first Rabble Rouser lure. Now, Doug knew, as many fishermen do, that game fish zero in on the eyes as their meal before they inhale their prey. Now, Doug took this over-exaggerated design and patented it to all of his Rabble Rouser lures. Fast forward to 1974, we really start to see the popularity of the Rabble Rouser grow. In the autumn issue of the 2015 National Fishing Lure Collector Club Gazette, there was a story about NFLCC member Dennis Rogers winning the world's largest fishing contest in 1974 on 10 Killer using the Rabble Rouser Root R. The Rabble Rouser also took first, second, and fourth place at the Winter National Bass Championship in February of 1975, as seen in an ad in Bassmaster magazine. As we move on to 1977, we begin to see new offerings from Rabble Rouser. We see the Baby Ashley and Deep Baby Ashley, as seen here on this ad. The original offerings were the Topwater, the Rowdy, the Rouser, the Rooter, or Root R, Ransacker, which was more or less like a spoon, and the Baby Ransacker. Also, the Rowdy, Rouser, and Rooter all came in baby forms as well. Somewhere along the way, Rabble Rouser also had a few other offerings. One being the Die Dapper, which was more or less a hellbender, and then my personal favorite, the Rabbler, which was 3 lures in one, a spinnerbait, a jig, and then also a weighted jig head that you could put a worm to the back. Extremely hard to find, especially in original packaging. Sadly, Rabble Rouser disappeared in the 1980s, and it was almost non-existent in the 90s and 2000s. However, I just ran across this company out of Detroit, Michigan, that's actually remaking the Rabble Rouser. Now, it only has the topwater option at this time. However, it comes in 70 different colors, so you certainly have a color to choose from. And what a great way to fish something from the past. I'll put a link in the description below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little walkthrough of Rabble Rouser history. And before we go on too much further, I got to say a big shout out, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, that's right. My Jayhawks won the national championship. I could not be happier. But hey, I know we're not here to talk basketball, we're here to talk Rabble Rousers. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, Rabble Rouser had a variety of different lure options, but they had 3 main crankbait options. Those being the Rowdy, which would have been your medium depth square bill type option. They also had the Rouster, which is seen here, which that's more of a deep diver. And then they had the rooter. And the rooter is they call it the deep option. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at how the Rabble Rouser was packaged. So we see here, each Rabble Rouser was packaged in a nice little yellow box like this. So you see there's a sticker up front, and that tells you which one you have. There's also an insert, and you certainly don't see that anymore today. I love those. Then on the back, a little note from Rabble Rouser Lure Company, and then on the side here, this tells you which lure you have and what color it is. Now, taking a deeper dive into the insert, this is really cool. Man, I wish they still made this kind of stuff today. I mean, some lures do, but not a whole lot. But as you can see here, it goes through a color chart of what colors they had, and then also just a little description of each one of their lures. And you see the dye dapper here. You also see the Rabbler. On the back side here, you've got, this is their top water, and then the 3 different crankbait options they have. Now, just going back to the color options, depending on when this was made, now here's an insert, here's 2 different inserts right here. And I'm guessing the one over here is going to be older because it only has 9 color options, and this one has 14. But, you know, it's everything from your typical colors from black, green, purple, yellow, ivory, and then as they kind of advance, if you will, and I'm assuming they're advancing at this point, I'm guessing this is probably not the original, but then you have sun perch, pearl shad, chartreuse, fire tiger, copper crawdad. So you can see that obviously they've expanded their color lineup. All right, now starting things off, we have ourselves here a Rowdy. And you can see it's more of a square bill. This is going to be your medium length, but I love the attention to detail on this. Really cool. You see the ridges here on the body, and then even also with the eyes. It's kind of got a 3D where even the bug eye pops out a little bit. Really neat. They say that this is a, sorry, wrong box here, an RA15, and I do not see that here listed, but it could be fire orange from everything that I'm seeing. This looks like this is possibly a fire orange color. Really neat. Moving on to your deep diver, what you see here, this is the Rouster, and this is what they call the, they're saying this is black gold. To me, this looks more perch, but this is what they're saying on the box. Really, really neat. You know, you can see that the bill is extended a little bit more, so you're gonna have a little bit more depth when diving down. Really cool, nice attention to detail on these. Just awesome, awesome little baits. Doug really knew what he was doing when he made these. Now I've got quite a few of what they consider the deep diver, and that's what's called the rooter. And so here's a box right here, and the sticker fell off, so I can show you. This is how they originally spelled it, ROO-TUR, and then they just changed it, probably because people were just getting confused, and just said rooter. So let's take a look at the first one here, and this is a rooter, and the color here is sun perch. Really nice color on this. You've got red on the belly right there, you got the green, you have a black back here. Very, very nice representation here of a Rabble Rouser. This is just a really, really nice lure right there. Next one we have here, it's a RO13, which would be, this is just midnight black. That's all it is. Yellow eyes, black body, really nice. The next one is an RO2, and they're saying that is black gold. And we'll go ahead and pull this one out. And so what you got here, and I think the gold has probably worn off a little bit. You see the gold a little bit more on the mouth section right there, but it really kind of looks silver right there, but it's got a black back, more of a goldish, well now more of a silver body, and yellow eyes. Really neat. And then the last rooter I've got here, this is a RO12, which is a pearl shad. You know, shad's a really popular color today, and I'm guessing it probably was then. Look at the eyes on this though, the red eye. I mean, really, really neat. I like that. I like how each one of them too kind of has their own little individual color. Some have a yellow eye, some have a red eye. You know, some have more of a green or a chartreuse eye. Really neat the way that he did that. So, I mean, just to kind of differentiate, let's say that, to make it different, differentiate their eyes from the body color. Try saying that word a few times fast. It's a tongue twister. Let's move on to another one that came in 1977, and this being the Baby Ashley. And the Baby Ashley is really just a smaller, kind of a square bill crankbait option they had here. And they started bringing in some new colors. As you see right here, this is a deep Baby Ashley, so this one goes a little bit deeper than what the other one would be. You can see the square bill is slightly longer, but you got a crawl pattern here. Really cool. Look at that. I don't know if that's showing up there, but that detail is outstanding on that. Just a neat lure. And then here's one too. This is a shad pattern. Once again, incredible. I'm just trying to get that to focus in. I don't even know if it is or not. Maybe if I pull it back a little bit, you can see it. Who knows? But you get the idea. Another deep Ashley right here. Really, really neat bait. Oh, and I should notice too, they all have the patented knock to them. And so that's, you know, to drive the fish crazy or whatever else. So, and they all have that. So it could be, you know, this and the Ashley as well. So there you go. You get to see a few different options of, you know, what the Rabble Rouser looked like up close. You can see the different bill sizes and the colors and the eye color combos. I mean, really cool what they did. Well, now that we've seen these, I think the only thing to do now is fish them. Let's see here. Well, let me tell you folks, that fishing's not going to happen, and I'll tell you why. So I went fishing last weekend, and the water temperature was about 40 degrees, which, you know, is good if you don't want to catch anything, but not optimal if you're trying to break out the Rabble Rouser and find a couple of fish. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I broke out the Ned rig and did just fine, but I think we're just going to have to hold off on the fishing part of this video for just a little bit. And let me tell you why. We've had some pretty solid 40 to 60 mile an hour winds. We also had thunder grupple or grapple. I don't know, potato. But anyways, if you don't know what that is, it's basically soft hail or hard snow, as they call it. Which I don't know why they just don't call it sleet, but it's essentially just ice pellets. So we had that yesterday. And then we're back at it again today with temperatures in the 40s and, you know, probably 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, which, you know, not really the best conditions for throwing crankbaits. But hey, you know what? That's springtime for you. Old man winter, I guess, just hasn't got the memo yet that, hey, the party's over. It's time for spring. And so it may just be a couple weeks before you can get those lures out there and see what we can find. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Here in a few weeks, I'm going to throw this one. And then if you remember a few weeks back, I did a video about the little tubby. I'm going to throw that one too. So I might do a little head-to-head video with a Rabble Rouser and a little tubby and just see which one catches more fish. So anyways, guys, if you have any suggestions on videos that you'd like to see, please let me know. I'm game for anything vintage, old school, fishing, you name it. Happy to make a video. And, you know, that's pretty much all we got for this week. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, follow it. Hey, it's free. Why not? Give it a follow, do the bell icon, whatever it is. And, until next time, guys, you know, here at, Angling Archaeology, we like to unearth the good old days. So we'll see you next time. Guys, I almost forgot. Tackle tunes, come on now, you need to remind me of that. So we've got a little bit of an Arkansas connection with this one. The Rabble Rousers from Arkansas, and so is this guy. That's right, the man in black, Johnny Cash. And I figured, hey, when you're out there fishing that Rabble Rouser, put on a little Folsom Prison Blues or Boy Named Sue, whatever. Great album right here. Johnny's from Arkansas. I figured that's a good one. And because the Rabble Rouser really took off in 1974, this is probably arguably the best album of 74. And people will fight me on that, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is second helping from Leonard Skinner, and this has everything you need. Sweet Home Alabama. It's got Working for MCA, The Ballad of Curtis Lowe. It's got just, all the hits. Incredible album. I just figured that'd be fitting. The Rabble Rouser took off in 74, and so did Skinner. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Until next time, we'll see you out there.